Friends, Hindu philosophy is multidimensional. There are as many schools that say yes to the truth in the Vedic postulations as they are that say no. There are those who show us that what we want to see, and there are those that show us the mirror. Let me explore a few such concepts for you this Saturday. Theism holds that God exists in real terms, that He created everything, and that He sustains all, and that He is present everywhere through a certain level of consciousness, whereas atheism is not a belief in gods or denial of gods, but a lack of belief in gods. Rather than debate theism or atheism, Hindu philosophy dwells on Dvaita and Advaita thoughts, whereas Atma or soul and Brahman or the unlimited are two separate and non-interchangeable entities in Dvaita. Advaita preaches that Brahman alone is the ultimate reality. Are God and religion related? Is Vedanta God is Brahman and includes everything? That is what is said in Vedanta. Hence, religion is only a search for self-knowledge, a search for God within, a search for consciousness. An agnostic theist believes in God but not religion. An agnostic theist believes, or an agnostic atheist believes, the existence of God itself is uncertain. These are at best intellectual arguments. The only reality is that all human beings experience consciousness. What then is consciousness? Can we define it? 6 major orthodox schools of Hindu philosophy that have stood the test of times are Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Mimamsa and Vedanta. Nyaya school teaches us the precepts of law and conduct that govern us and our environment. Vaiseshika school espouses atomism, or that all objects of the world as composed of small parts which can be divided and subdivided into smaller ones, similar to what is taught in atomic physics. Sankhya is number and stems from Purusha and Prakriti. It explains creation in a manner where the implicit becomes the explicit, and that neither there is production nor destruction. Purusha is pure consciousness and Prakriti is the nature. This is law of conservation of mass. Yoga school teaches us that mind, body and spirit are all one and cannot be separated. This is the law of conservation of energy. Mimamsa school teaches reflection or critical investigation and thus contemplation of the consciousness. This is philosophy of physics or quantum mechanics. Vedanta is finality of Vedas. It reflects ideas that emerge from all other doctrines contained in the Upanishads, especially the knowledge and liberation. That is the culmination of all the sciences that end in one truth, the truth of consciousness. Modern technology is akin to the metaphysics of Vedanta. All of them tie our existence to the ultimate truth. If there is thesis, there must be antithesis. Orthodox must coexist with the heterodox. If we believe in the existence of God and godliness, then we must also recognize the lack of it. Hence the schools like Jain, Buddhist, Ajivika, Ajnana and Charvaka evolved that show us the other side of the truth. However, they all carry us through a journey of consciousness. and its multiple dimensions before we become one with the Prakriti or the nature, irrespective of the route we follow. Is this a certainty of the physical and the metaphysical worlds? Do they come together somewhere? Metaphysics studies fundamental principles that explain all that is, whereas physics explains in its materialistic form. Does the awareness of consciousness of ourselves and the environment around us prove that God exists? Then what must the thesis be for God to not exist? A level of consciousness of the mind precedes and the level succeeds the level we always are in. Such levels of consciousness may have the answers that we are seeking. Sigmund Freud, an Austrian neurologist, describes that the pre-conscious state without everything that can be brought into the conscious mind, whereas the unconscious mind is a collection of our feelings, our thoughts, our urges, and our memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. Though he uses it to treat mental illness or mental distress, through dialogue with his patients, he creates an insight into it. Christianity believes that one God exists and relates it with consciousness and spiritual awakening that is unique to different individuals. Vedas and Gita also tells us that higher consciousness is the consciousness of God, or the part of human mind capable of transcending animal instincts. It involves the ability to be conscious of being conscious. We sometimes get into a trance or a flow state. A runner experiences euphoria. We all dream, which can be lucid. We feel out-of-body experiences sometimes. Sometimes it is near-death experience and sometimes it's purely historical or even mystical. However, none of the theories tell us exactly how we do it. Is it a capacity to introspect? Is it God that we are experiencing? Or is it vague and difficult to explain? The renowned cognitive scientist and philosopher David Chalmers, in a paper published in 1995, titled Facing Up to the Problem of Consciousness, said, "There is nothing that we know more intimately than conscious experience, but there is nothing that is harder to explain." However, for medical science, precise locations of brain activity during various conscious and unconscious experiences are now accessible through functional MRIs and PET scans, which enable neuroscientists to see real-time which parts of the brain are active and performing certain tasks. Researchers say human consciousness emerges on the interface between three components of animal behavior: communication, play, and the use of tools. Science tells us that proprioception or kinesthesia is the science or is the sense triggered by organs in the spinal cord, due to which we perceive the position and movement of our body, including our sense of equilibrium and balance, senses that depend on the notion of force. Yoga is that experiential journey that lets us experience most of these that I'm talking about. Often we have subjective conscious experiences or qualia consciousness. Don't we appreciate beauty in sunsets, paintings, and music? Yet, oppositely, also experience pain, distress, and sadness. Although this world is entirely physical, are there physical facts that cannot be explained or that cannot be captured even by complete theories of physical sciences. Chandogya Upanishad provides a few pointers, however. Whatever the arguments are, both Vedanta school of philosophy and modern day physical physics deal with human consciousness and dwell into the human mind. Consciousness is the philosophy of mind. Its interpreted dimensions are the philosophy of the religion. The Taittiriya Upanishad teaches that consciousness is the primal source of life, from which intelligence manifests and creates the mind, the breath, and the body. Quantum physics corroborates that theory. Friends, whether Vedanta or physics, understand consciousness and then you will understand God. Come to think of it, have we ever solved a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it? That's food for thought for this Saturday. With that, friends, I end this episode with a promise to be back the next Saturday. And until then, Dhanyavad, Namaskar, and thank you.